William.
Oh, we're on.
Are you ready?
This is good.
Do you feel prepared? Philosophy in minutes.
So prepared.
Not bad, eh?
I came with nothing but my brain.
That's excellent. That's all you need. I've invited you down here to pick it specifically.
Oh, good.
We've come to talk about. Do you mind if I talk first and do a little introduction?
Please.
We've come to talk about how to design training programs. Yeah.
Exciting stuff.
That's your speciality, isn't it?
Yeah.
I do nutrition. You're a not that you don't do nutrition, and not that I don't do training, but you're a training specialist. Yes.
Yeah.
You're a personal trainer.
Yes. Yeah.
William Hukin. Will Hukin.
There you go.
Yeah. You're at Kellam Island, TheGym Group, if people ever want to come find you. And you're an excellent personal trainer, I will say that.
That's
Even
so
though we've only
sweet
just
of you to
started, I
say.
will start flirting with you immediately.
I can't promise not to flirt back, Connor. I mean, this is...
By the end of this conversation, I might end up sat on your lap.
Okay. There's a space.
Yeah.
These chairs are wide berthing. There's a room for two.
It's nice, isn't it? It's like it's got. It's like in case you get G-forces, it's got.
You've got
corners.
options. Wings and shit, so you can't go spinning out.
No. And you're an excellent personal trainer.
Thank you. That's sweet of you to say.
Which is rare.
It's because I learned from you.
A little bit you did. We used to work in the same place at the same gym, didn't we? And I'd been working there a little bit when you were getting into the industry. And then now the student has become the master, I would say. Now I pick your brains about training and I ask you questions about my own training, etc., etc. And this is years and years later now.
Well, this is it.
You've matured into a beautiful young boy, sir.
Young boy.
You've matured lovely.
Nothing creepy about that.
With your cute superhero hat on.
Well, you know.
I'm realising as well we're dressed quite similar.
It's because we're both men with terrible fashion choices.
With the jumper and jeans.
We're both trying to look like fishermen, I think.
You've gone for the turtleneck. I wouldn't dare wear a turtleneck. I do not have the confidence.
No?
No.
Well,
I don't have the self-confidence to pull that off.
something to work on.
But thank you for coming to talk to me.
Thanks for inviting me.
I really appreciate. No, I hope this becomes a series of conversations that we have
I would like
about
that.
a whole numeration of topics.
Something to build on here.
And topic number one, we've come to talk about designing training programs. So if somebody's going to the gym, I would like. Is it okay if I pose some questions to you? So I work mostly with women who have the goal of fat loss, right? And we've come to talk about training programs. So I'd like to pick your brains about training programs for women whose goal is fat loss.
That was the first thing I was going to bring up. Yeah.
Well,
I was going to bring up its place in training in fat loss specifically as someone without the most ambitious muscle building goals. So usually women with fat loss goals. Yeah.
All right. Good. Yeah, because this is most of my audience. So this is most of my 6 Steps to Slim members are female. It's probably 90% female or something like that. Not all of them exercise. Some do, some don't. But all on fat loss. And what I wanted to know from you was exactly that to start off with. If somebody is looking to exercise to support their fat loss goals, or they're trying to make changes in their life and they're thinking, right, I'm going to get down to the gym, I'm going to do some fat loss, I'm going to shape up. What would be basic recommendations on starting with that? Like what is its place? What exercises would you recommend? How much training should people be doing? Any of these things?
So I'd first consider the necessity of it. So like if someone hadn't come through you and they just approached fat loss on their own, say a female, usually you'd find their first step being to join the gym and start exercising, be it free weights or cardio. That's usually the path that they take, and then kind of think of diet as their secondary way of doing that. Now obviously the correct way, how you've taught it through your Slim Society, is the opposite approach, and that's why you've had probably the majority, if not all of your people losing weight without doing much exercise, and then like you said, just having it as a complementary kind of effect to that.
Yeah, that is exactly what we do. If people have got fat loss goals, I get them focused on food first, and then exercise to support.
Yeah.
Exercise to
complement.
Yeah, as the number one supporting tool and thing they can do for pretty much any of their goals: health, fitness, fat loss. I don't know.
I'm gonna say, like, if we're talking about health, up there with low percent of body fat is high percent of muscle mass.
That's true.
It's very complementary.
That's true.
For health, mechanical reasons, metabolic reasons, all the reasons, it's very, very positive to just have muscle slabbed on you. It's a healthy tissue. It's good.
It's true.
all good.
I was actually talking about this on camera the other day. There's a positive correlation. It's a direct correlation like that between muscle mass and longevity. So in science they call it all-cause mortality, which means all forms of death.
Oh yeah.
And higher levels of muscle mass is correlated with lower rates of all-cause mortality, which means lower rates of all forms of death. And you think, what? Why would being jacked save somebody? But if you think about ways that you could die, like if you're more jacked and I stab you, there's more tough tissue to get through before you get to an organ. If you're in a car accident or I don't know, you're in some sort of accident, you've got a stronger structural system, to withstand an impact. If you've got high levels of muscle mass, how did you get that muscle mass? It's by exercise.
Adaptation.
It's by exercise, isn't it? Even if somebody takes steroids or something, you still have to exercise to get the muscle. So how did they get that muscle mass? They must be exercising, which means their heart's going to be stronger than somebody without that muscle mass who might not be exercising. Their lungs are going to be stronger. If you've got more muscles, it absorbs more carbs, doesn't it? So then you've got lower chances of getting diabetes. If you get cancer, there's more of you to eat away. That's how it is though, isn't it? Before things start to get negative. I can't remember what the exact name is now, but there's a specific name for muscle wastage through cancer, and it causes. Some people think a very high percentage of deaths is through this muscle wasting. So the stronger you start, the more chance of survival. It's for everything.
Have you ever heard of the theory of strength in reserve?
No, I don't think so.
It relates to muscle mass in general, strength in general, but very specifically your squat. Because the squat obviously being a movement before it is an exercise, unlike most exercises like a bench, a pull-up, this, that and the other.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Aren't necessary. And
that's not a day-to-day movement, but a squat's an actual day-to-day movement before it's an exercise.
So, I mean, we're being lazy and sat in chairs because comfy and they look good. We sourced them from Facebook's finest marketplace and we're going to sit in them. But we should be squatting, really. We should be doing it as our ancestors and forefathers before us did. So the squat is a movement of life before it is an exercise.
We should be squatting during this conversation right now.
Well, it's a more natural.
That's intense.
It's a more natural place. Could you imagine?
We invented squats.
Could you imagine? Just sat down.
Yeah, I could go for it.
All right,
go for it.
We're doing this. This is us now for the next hour.
We definitely invented squats before we invented chairs.
We definitely invented squats
true.
And sitting in a squat before we put weight on us back and thought, let's make this harder, didn't we?
That's true. It's a pooping position.
Isn't
it? You know about that?
A lovely analogy.
You know about that or not?
No, it is. Everything. What's it called? Sphincter? What is it? It gets pulled into a better alignment.
Sphincter's your bumhole.
Yeah, it gets pulled into a better alignment for
your intestines and organs. Colon business. Yeah, it gets put into a better alignment.
Exiting.
Exiting. Exiting.
Evacuation.
All right.
Moving on.
Moving back on.
So, if you add resistance to this life movement and you just get awesome at it, if you take a 60-year-old that can squat 150 and
150 kilos?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Yeah.
It's not unreasonable. If someone can do that now, mechanically, there isn't much that changes between now and then. Like, that could maintain.
Say this again. What if somebody can squat 150?
150.
Someone can squat the big 150, right?
Right. As an example,
jacked,
this example, if a gentleman could squat 150.
Yeah.
As they're, say, 60 years old or something, and someone could only squat 20, and then they both fall down the stairs, the 150 guy's got 150 kilos worth of defense lines before other things, actual integral things of his life start being affected. So let's say both of these people can walk and run fine, and then they both fall down the stairs. Oh no, now this guy gets injured and he can only squat 100 kilos, dearie me. And the other guy that falls down the stairs that had a threshold of 20 kilo squat, his ability to do that goes, and now all he can do is go to a jog. That makes him even less efficient at life. He falls again and hurts himself, and then he can only walk. 5 years later, he's resigned to a wheelchair.
I understand now.
Yeah,
it's like a health bar.
It genuinely is.
It's like increasing a health bar.
And it sounds very black and white in the example, in the principle, but it's basically like that in life.
If you look at averages over people, that's basically, obviously, it's not perfectly like that, but over averages, if you took people that makes sense.
Who knew, right?
So anyway, that's strength training for health, which is super important, isn't
so
it?
Important.
What about training for fat loss? We've already boxed off. We should have taken a time note on what time time we started this podcast. I think it was about lunchtime, but never mind.
Lunchtime? Oh, I could go for lunch.
I've not eaten lunch either. I'm actually dieting quite well at the moment. Yeah, I'm actually doing not too bad.
Yeah.
I participate in my own 6 Steps to Slim program.
I know, you're always banging on about it.
How
much you want? Chocolate?
Yeah, you like that? That's so good, isn't it? I saw that and I just thought, that is the one.
That's you.
I'm yeah, that's true. That's why I don't even mind. Last weekend I went to York on the York History of Chocolate tasting tour.
Oh, God.
I'm not even kidding. I learned how to taste chocolate professionally. I made my own chocolate. I tasted chocolate through the ages. bro, this is not even exaggerating slightly. It was like 13 quid each, and I would recommend it wholeheartedly to anyone.
You're the worst person alive.
Bro, it was absolutely amazing. And
the worst.
I love this type of stuff because I want my members to understand that we're normal too.
No, of course, yeah.
You eat full. I eat chocolate. You eat full English breakfast.
I don't have a sweet tooth. I have an everything else tooth.
Exactly.
And about 5 of them
so
as well.
Why you're ragging on me because I love chocolate? You eat full English breakfast.
I go too hard. Yeah.
But I want people to know this.
Of course, yeah.
One time I went to my group meeting in the centre of Sheffield, and I was walking up there and I'd been running late on Sunday morning when the group meeting was on, and I got a McDonald's breakfast. So then as I was going into... I know, almost the worst quality. Your day is going badly already if you're at McD's for breakfast. I'm already making wrong decisions.
On your way to a fat loss seminar.
I know, and I'm the guy
that you're taking.
I'm supposed to be teaching it. So literally, I got there, still holding the bag, but I'd eaten the McD's, obviously. And instead of getting up at the front to talk, I just put the bag on the table and I sat down with all the women. I was just like, look, we fucked it. I was like, I don't know what we're going to do. Yeah. I'm supposed to be the guy, and I'm on McD's breakfast before we've even started. Who else is getting up and talking?
Good lad.
But in reality...
It humbles you to put yourself back, draw from someone else's experiences that may have had a better start to the day, actually done it well, you know, and
I don't claim to be perfect. There's a lot of my members that are more powerful than me. I might have just been trying maybe longer than them. I might have just happened across correct principles earlier.
You've just had more success for longevity, haven't you?
Possibly, yeah. Maybe I've just
success is found in consistency. You've just been consistent for longer.
Maybe so, yeah. Maybe I happened across the correct principles earlier. Like maybe somebody's been trying for years and years, but they've always just been getting shitty advice and using just crappy ass programs.
Which in the world of fat loss is about right, isn't it?
And personal training is just as bad, which is why I brought you here, because I want to talk to some real people about some real shit.
Which is why I don't like being called a personal trainer. That's why I've switched it to lifestyle coach, because I hate personal trainers. Yeah.
You don't like being called personal trainer?
No, I don't like personal trainers. I use it as an advertising tool.
I don't like personal trainers, but...
No, I don't.
Not well. You can't really say that because you're one and I'm kind of one.
Yeah.
It's like everybody I know is one, so I can't really say that. But overall, on average, most of them suck. I've started a new content series called, what did I call it? Shit that shit PTs say.
Shit that shit PTs say.
Yeah, just like, or I also called it Lies Your Personal Trainer.
Crikey, that could go on for a minute.
I know exactly. Lies Your Personal Trainer tells you. If you want to get in on it and do episode 2, my first one.
Yeah.
My first one. Yeah.
I'm there. Good. I'm there for that.
Come on, if you get an idea, my first one, my first lie that personal trainers tell you was that you're not losing fat because you're building muscle. That's why your weight's not. That's why your weight's not going down. And I was like, with how slow women build muscle. Yeah. If your weight's not going down while you're on the fat loss process through muscle building, you're just only losing a tiny bit of fat. We need to up the game and do some right stuff.
Like, I'm all for support and the support of slow progress, because that's progress and it's maintainable. But I saw something the other day which was, this lady's down by this much and she's put on 10 kilos of muscle, and they were saying this in a 6 months period. Now, if you look at all the studies, a male would struggle to put that on in a year, let alone a woman.
I say average for a male.
And the first year I'm talking about of training.
Well, you tell me whether I'm right or wrong on this. I say for a male, if you're a relative beginner and you do everything right, probably £1 per month.
Yeah, for the first year. Yeah, and then
in good training, and I call women £0.5 per month max.
Yeah.
If you're nailing it, and they get most of that in the legs, a little bit of gain on the upper body. Yeah.
And even then, like you said, you're talking at optimals there.
Yeah, that's if they do it perfectly. And if they not body pump class twice a week. If you're grinding it 4 times a week on a structured program, or something with a good trainer, you're doing good technique, you've got good protein intake, you've got good recovery and good sleep, and then you might be making gains of £0.5 per month. So if you're not losing weight, then you've only lost £0.5 of fat. We're playing games.
Not awesome.
No, my clients would have lost £5.5 rather than 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Or 3.5 rather than 4. That would have been the game.
So how do we tie this into fat loss?
Yeah, so what we're going to actually do about training then. So a woman gets into the gym. She's got fat loss goals. Let's leave the food bit by the by to the side.
I'm going to say, because that's happening externally.
Yeah, we've already gone on that you should be controlling the food and you should be eating better. But what are we actually going to do in the gym then? What are recommendations for just a beginner fat loss goals, a lady?
My recommendations, if your muscle building goals aren't that ambitious, is to have waited a little bit until you found some consistency in your fat loss. You're comfortable with that, so before you can add a new uncomfortable stimulus.
Wait. What do you mean? You mean you think somebody should diet and lose fat first?
I think they should get used to that. Not like before, but I don't think you should try and pound both at the same time, because people usually try and go really hard, real fast with the fat loss.
Would it be okay if somebody tried to do the gym for a bit then and then they start the food later?
I'd recommend getting into both at the same kind of time, but I wouldn't perhaps recommend trying to smash both at the same time. I'd try and adapt to one a little bit, because I mean,
I really like that.
If we're talking about hypertrophy, the process of muscle building, the most friendly environment for that to happen is a calorie surplus, the opposite of a deficit. You know, that is the prime area.
Yeah, maybe a small surplus. Maybe
small
only a couple
surplus,
hundred calories.
200.
200 would be nice. So you got a little space, because you're going to burn that
Little
200
space for
in a
energy,
session anyway.
little space for energy, a little space for protein intake. You're in an awesome position to just build muscle and get strong doing it. Now you're the opposite of that if you're already in a fat in a calorie deficit, i.e. fat loss. So make sure you're okay with that. Make sure you're okay with the kind of slower approach to fat loss, because you need energy to train. So you can't be looking at yourself in maybe like if you're in like an 800, 1,000 calorie deficit, training's not going to be a good time.
That's not going to be a good time.
Someone was asking me the other day.
You're burning the candle at both ends.
Four ends.
You're blowtorching the candle. Get your hell, bro.
Flamethrower. Someone was asking me the other day when I was saying that I only walked for an hour on the treadmill every day when I was losing.
You personally?
Yeah, me personally.
Okay, yeah.
And they were saying, why didn't you run? I was like, because I could eat 4,000 calories a day and not want to run. I'm not going to eat 1,800 a day and run. I'm not going to do that.
You just hate running.
Fuck that.
That's not what I expected you to say.
I don't have the energy to do that when I do have the energy to do that.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
When I literally don't have the energy to do it, it's not in me. I haven't provided myself with it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it one day and think, no, you're all right. Food was better. Sitting at home was better.
Walking for an hour is not bad though. You might get 8,000 steps if you go quick.
Oh, it was
7.5.
awesome. It was awesome.
It's not bad.
Yeah. Level 5.
You're an active guy anyway, walking around personal
That was
training.
me hitting 20,000 steps a day.
And 20?
When I was walking for an hour extra on the treadmill.
How much do you weigh?
80 now.
80
kilos.
kg, yeah. You're going to be burning
a lot.
600 calories.
Well, I burn on
20,000.
average around 3,500 to 4,000 a day.
What, you mean your entire metabolism?
Yeah.
Really?
It's really high.
Yeah, you're going to be getting 600 from your 20,000.
Well, I'm sat down now, but I mean,
day.
today started at 6:30 and I finished with my last client at 9 o'clock at night. It's not straight. I'm sat down now, obviously in the middle of the day, but that's from 6:30 until 9 movement. So,
up and about. And I know you live in the centre of Sheffield like
Exactly.
I do, so I know you're walking out and about and around, aren't you, for getting things done. So that's good too.
When you're knocking about
high
clients.
activity levels. Personal training's not physical manual labour job
It's not
either, but you are stalking around people, carrying a weight
So I've
or
been
two.
a postman or something.
Yeah, unracking, re-racking weights a little bit.
Been a little gym bitch, yep.
If you want to phrase it that way, yes.
Counting, carrying.
If you want to phrase it that way, yes. That's a nice way of thinking about it though, because I used to think about it like that myself as well, where the client is the boss.
Oh yeah.
Because they pay me,
yeah.
so they're in charge. So I do what you say, basically. Yes, I'm there to advise, but I'm not really in charge, sort of thing. I'm there to help people get along. So anyway,
so you've got to the gym.
Yeah, you've got to the gym.
You've gotten to the gym. This is as far as we've gotten in our debate.
We understand the food. Number one, we're not doing too much at once.
We're so shit at talking less.
Number two,
you know, we've spoken for 30 minutes and we've said nothing.
So far, we've covered exactly 0 points. We've done a nice intro though.
Yeah, hi guys, how you doing?
It's done a nice intro.
Stick around.
We've sorted the food somewhere else. We're not taking too much at once. Yes. Now what are we going to do about the training?
So now you're going to do the bare minimum to start with, because it's...
Right, that's probably also not what people expected you to say.
No, because people try and go in so hard. But the thing is, if you're new to training, your conditioning is so low, and that is a beautiful thing to play off of.
What do you mean conditioning?
So your ability to do the bare minimum and get results from it. Especially if you're a female, your ambitions are not that high for muscle building, and your starting level is just average, you will get away with the bare minimum training and still elicit awesome results. This works in an individual. Say, if you take like a small person with small muscle mass, they're not going to need much stimulus because they haven't had it before for that adaptation to take place.
So you don't have to do loads, that's what you're saying?
No, you don't have to do loads.
All right, so what you're classing as the bare minimum
then? Twice a week.
Twice a week?
Twice a week, training everything. So maybe that 2 full body training sessions.
2 full bodies?
Yeah, which sounds like a lot, but
no, I don't think it does. I think
considering the amount of...
Most people are expecting in January, I'm going to go to the gym 5 times per week.
Which you're not. If your likelihood of doing that is less than 8 out of 10, set your standards somewhere lower and adhere to it.
You're an excellent coach. This is why I love you. You say all the right things. I only let people do 9 out of 10.
There you go.
I'm
just a nicer guy.
I literally, the habit change statement people have to write down for their goals to me is I am 90% or more confident that I am next week going to, and then they wrap down their goals.
You know what I do as the next accountability check is, rather than setting general goals, make it specific. If you say, right, this next week, after I'm 90% sure, I'm 100% sure that that's going to take place on Tuesday. And Saturday, it's going to happen from 10 until 11 a.m. I'm going to do this, that and the other. I've created this. These are my goals. This is what I'm going to do on that day. These are the times that I'm going to do it. If you just set a general goal and it comes to the day that you should be doing it, you'll say, all right, I'll set off at 12. It'll get to 12. You'll go, I'll have a coffee and I'll set off. And you'll set off maybe at 12:30. You'll get there and think, I'm a bit late now. I've got some other shit to do. Okay, let's go do that. And you'll go do that. Worst case scenario, you go Tuesday. Might as well do it on Wednesday. Before you know it, it's Sunday and then you've missed a week. Oh dear. Diets start on Monday, right?
I call it, it'll be fines and I'll sort it later.
Exactly.
More of those start to occur.
A job will take as long as you've got to do it. So if you set a specific for it, that's when you'll do it. If you say you're going to do something this week, you'll wait till Sunday night and then not do it.
It's like those SMART goal things, isn't it?
Of course.
Specific goals. What's the next one? Manageable, or is it measurable? Both are good.
Both are good. Should both.
Double M, we do whatever we want.
Yeah.
We'll write any word we want.
Exactly.
So this is good. This is really interesting. So you're saying bare minimum training is a good idea because you don't need to do loads, assuming you're doing the right things though. We'll get to that soon. But full body training, you reckon? Yeah. I also think full body training.
For anyone...
Why are you saying full body though? Because a lot of people, even ladies, they come down to the gym and they start doing like back day, arm
concentration,
day.
right arm brachialis day.
They'll end up doing that if their boyfriends usually taught them.
Oh God, don't.
Taking them down to the gym and they want to look pumped up.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do? They want to do arms.
I want to look like a man.
Yeah. So they look pumped. So then the lady ends up doing arms, and this burns 4 calories a year, doesn't it? It builds like no muscle mass ever. No one's getting strong from it. Yeah. Is it? So it's wasting time.
And it's not glutes. Which is the only thing they care about.
Or women's goals in general. Yeah. That has become a trend, and that's a great thing, I think.
Yeah, I think so. It's healthy.
Yeah, I think
very neglected.
I think if I was going to give somebody only one lower body exercise, I might be tempted to make it hip thrust or maybe Romanian deadlift. You know, if I could only pick one, but like a glute, lower back strengthening exercise. The glutes are the lower body posture muscles, aren't they? Like you said, for squats, one of the things that, like you said, for health and longevity, I work with a lot of people for healthy aging and for life in. I don't know if it's life improvement or whatever, but healthy aging is probably a good way of putting it. And a lot of the things that gets old people sometimes, isn't it? Like you said, falling over.
Does it?
Yeah, break a hip.
Oh yeah.
Break a rib, end up in hospital, contract something, unfortunately, end up ill. This is a downstream
strength and reserve.
Well, exactly. So if you've got strong hips, and you can get people fall down the stairs, don't they? Getting up out of chairs. If you're doing this on the daily, you're going to be stronger.
The overload that you've got available, you're training a 110 metre sprint for a 50 metre sprint then, aren't you? You know, you've got all that in reserve.
You're covered, you're
day-to-days just become
life's easy.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah, and I noticed that. I know you said you don't like running, but I noticed that when I started running, my walking improved.
Oh, you don't say?
No, I'm serious. Like, I noticed that walking was easier for me the more and I thought I was a good walker before.
You walk everywhere.
I've been walking for years.
You walk everywhere.
I've been walking since I was born. I've used legs before.
You walk out of your... No. I'm not going to say that.
So I was... When I started running, I noticed significant improvements. Like,
I can believe that.
Somehow my brain had been trained for foot placement better, and my balance was better, and I could tell my feet and ankles were stronger.
I remember you getting very excited about your tibialis muscle getting all jacked
On
up.
the
You
front,
tell me about
it's
that,
like
yeah?
It's like a little armour plate on the front that happened from running.
That's sexy.
Quite nice, isn't it? But we need to get somewhere with this podcast, don't we?
I know.
So, you said bare minimum, that's nice. You said twice per week.
Yeah.
That's really nice. You said full body. Talk to me about why full body.
So,
Because that's why we got off track again. That's not a standard recommendation. That's one of the things that shit PTs do.
Yes.
Don't give people fucking full body training. Nearly everyone should be on full body, in my opinion.
I agree.
I'll shut up.
I
you
agree.
go.
I mean, even I'm considering shifting to a full body 5-day-a-week program.
I do full body now.
Yeah, and how many days a week?
Well, okay, I don't do full body. I do full body twice a week, probably, and then upper body once more and legs once more.
Okay.
Probably.
Personally, I've only ever seen you train upper body, but that's all.
I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. You're terrible for my self-esteem, I swear.
Good.
Go on then, why full body? Why
Okay,
full body?
so if you're starting out at the gym, you're so unaccustomed to it that you can get away with the bare minimum, which means that you can get away with just lamping things together. If you're a small person with small goals, that means you need to do less anyway. If you take the size of your muscle mass versus someone else's, it means you have to do less anyway. If you take my chest versus Arnold Schwarzenegger's chest in his heyday, he's going to need the amount of volume that my quad needs, because his chest is the same size as my quad.
Same size as your leg, yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you're saying the bigger people's muscles are, the more training they should
The
and
more
have to do.
stimulus they need.
All right, so
to
if you're a
grow it.
beginner, you've probably got small muscles, so you don't actually need to do that much.
Yes, exactly.
All
You
right,
don't need to do that much.
So how much on each muscle?
Well, I'd say like around 15 sets a week of...
That's another thing I didn't expect you to say. I didn't expect you to give sets per week.
Yeah.
As I expected you to say exercises per session
No.
or something, but we're going
'cause
sets per week.
Exercises don't matter. All you've got is a set of tools split into a few different categories, that being like compound, so a big movement, isolation, a little movement, and then body part. So you've got body part, compound, isolation. Those tools, all they are is synonyms of each other to the nth degree, and you can pull out, draw different ones, and then you could just do one of them 10 sets and get all 10 sets from that, which isn't the worst plan, because then you've got the benefit of honing in your skill, getting good at an exercise, and then getting strong as fuck at it. If you are good at an exercise and you get strong at it, your muscles are just going to continue to grow. If you're just chasing reps, improving, focusing on getting stronger, there's a direct correlation between that and muscle growth.
Yeah,
The two
strong
biggest
people with bigger
drivers,
muscles.
the two biggest drivers in hypertrophy, so again muscle growth, are volume and mechanical tension. Volume is how much you do, sets times reps. If you're spending 3 weeks at a set mechanical tension, that means weight. So if you're spending, say, 3 weeks at one weight on one exercise, just focusing on getting more and more volume, so you do 3 sets of 8 one week, and 3 sets of 9 the next, and 3 sets of 10 after that, cap it at whatever ceiling you fancy, maybe somewhere around 12, then you increase the mechanical tension, come back down the ladder and climb it again. So you spent 3 or 4 weeks improving one of the 50% side of what causes muscle growth, volume. Do that for like a month, and then increase the other side of what increases muscle, the weight, and then just do that again, and just go between the two, and just progress until you inevitably run into a blockade in that specific exercise. But because you've left so many in the tool shed that do the same thing, that are anatomically similar enough to yield the same results, but different enough in principle that your body's got a new stimulus to adapt from, you switch it up, you plug that in, you get good at that again. And then you just keep cycling in bits and bobs. You can plan this by the T and say you're going to do an exercise for 8 weeks and then change it, or if you're less autistic, take a bio approach and just do a movement until you spend 3 weeks not progressing and think, all right, see you later, grab another one, get good at that.
Well, holy shit, that was a good speech. That was freaking excellent. So, if I can
rewind and watch that again.
If I can, I'm going to summarise. If that's
Please
all right.
do,
You tell me if I understand what you're saying. No, perfect. Well, you tell me if I'm understanding what you're saying correctly or not. So you're saying the exercises that you do aren't really that important because it's about the principle, not the method. The principle is you need to get stronger and do more, better things, basically. The method of how you do that is kind of up to you. And it's not really about doing lots of different exercises necessarily. This is what I used to teach people as well. So it's good to hear you say that. Because if I, as an example, if I'm a beginner and you're a beginner and I do chest 3 times a week because I'm trying to make gains, and I do bench on one day and I do dumbbells on Wednesday and I do flies on Friday or something, I'm doing a 3 variation. That'd be okay. But if you do bench, and we do that for a year, by the end of it, you're way better.
Guess what you're going to be good at?
You've benched 3 times more than me.
Yeah.
So I've got a variety of tools or skills, but you've gotten really good at, and strong at one skill.
Yeah.
And you said the principle of what we're trying to achieve, which is strengthen up, tone up, being pretty much the same thing, muscle building, again, these being close synonyms to each other, getting strong at that and skilled at an exercise would improve that faster.
Yes.
So you're saying sticking to the basics, just picking a couple of exercises that work for you and just practicing, and then you said eventually you will get stuck. This is what happens with diets, isn't it? People diet for a little while, they get stuck, and then they've got to do a couple of little changes. Yeah. You're saying work on a couple of exercises for the areas of the body, for the full body. Keep progressing on those, practice them. When you get stuck for whatever reason, then you can switch it out, or you said plug in a different exercise that's
with a similar anatomic.
Yeah, and then start to work on that. So give me another example. Then a lady comes in, she starts to do squats for a while. She's doing squats and she's loving it, and then she starts to struggle on squats, and she also starts to get a bit bored of it. What would you do then? What would be a switch up for that?
Leg press.
Okay.
Split squat, walking lunges, any big quad movement.
So there's lots of different options.
Yeah. So the way that you would design this program, and if you'd allow me, this is something I'm surprising you with here, it's something that I wouldn't mind offering to your members, because it's what I do to my people. In fact, the Cheethams, I've just had old Matthew earlier this morning before this, yes. And I've just started working with him a few weeks ago, and we've done the same thing. And what that is I send him a list of that tool shed, and it's split up into body part, into compound, into isolation, and I give him a kind of mold that he can plug his own things into. So I send him he's got to do in a program a horizontal push and a pull, a vertical push and a pull, an isolation, this, that and the other, a lateral raise version, and any other priorities he wants to do, double down and do 2 of. And then he goes to those lists and pick and mixes the things he wants, focuses on the consistency of doing the same shit over and over every week and gets good at them, reports back. If it starts going badly, I say, all right, change it up, do something else. But I don't give him the specific exercises, because I would pick what I like. And keeping adherence and consistency in mind, the next thing that matters most after like the volume and the tension that you're using, that's the best thing you can do, is pick something that you enjoy or hate least, and then just get good at it.
Hate least, that's a nice one. Yeah. Enjoy.
Yeah, we all like lifting heavy things.
So this is a service that you offer?
Yeah, I mean...
Online training?
Not necessarily. I'm just practicing at the minute, so I've just been offering it to people as just like a take it and see if you like it type deal. So it's probably something I want to try and branch into a little bit, yeah. But for the meantime, I've just been having sessions with people and then sending them this and letting them design their own program based around some principles. And that's a really nice way of doing it. Is because, I mean, a training program like that, just to send out into the ether, would work for someone with, say, 2 years programming behind them, because they've got technique. They know how to do things.
You might just read the exercises.
All you're seeing is words on a piece of paper. And sure, you can go on YouTube them, but that
Chinese.
isn't enough.
Like, what is this?
Exactly. You need to learn the vocational skills of how to employ these exercises. But they're the things that you don't only require a session for here and there. The principles carry over amongst all of them. So if you can learn the principles, you only need me or Joe, Tom, Dick or Harry to teach you how to do the exercises. But as soon as you know how to actually apply them to getting stronger, and the principles, it's the same regardless of the exercise.
So you've made this program card system?
Yeah.
And it's already there? Yeah. My members can have access to it if they want, if they've already got pre-training experience and...
If they have the forethought to message me, you can put my number in the description. They can literally just text my number and say, hey, these are my goals, this, that and the other. These are my goals, this, that and the other. Get involved, give me a text, and I'll just send it to you and you can play around with it. I'm testing it, it's a beta trial, so if you want to get involved, you'll have my full support.
All right, I'll let the 6 Steps to Slim members know that, and then you can send it out. Did you ever see Or did I ever show you the similar thing that I created for my personal training clients?
I don't believe so.
I did a similar thing with horizontal push and pull, vertical push and pull, legs.
So you mean you also did it right?
Yeah, cover the full body, then
Good.
then legs, push, pull, hip hinge.
Yeah, yes.
And then at the bottom, extras. And then it was at the top, it says pick one exercise from each bank.
Oh, God.
So then they pick a pull, they
It's
pick
the
a
same thing.
push, boof, boof. Yeah,
It's the same thing.
Yeah, I'm good.
It's so simple.
It's interesting how when you go through it enough times, you happen across the correct things to do,
Weird.
isn't it? I like that though. I like that though. It's when things are tested.
It gives people enough leniency to be a bit sheltered and have a bit of...
It's teaching them the principles. of
Exactly,
the
but
method,
gives
yeah.
them enough independence
Give them
to
autonomy,
pick
yeah.
their own things and actually try and progress themselves and end up going out into the big wide world all on their own.
Yeah,
which is
you're
nice.
you're teaching them to make
Exactly.
healthy progressions and be strong
Exactly.
forever, not just when they're with you, and that's
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic.
So then, what would you do in, say, a full body program?
Yeah, go.
Is you might take you half an hour to get through a horizontal push and pull. So for people watching at home, that's this kind of plane. So it may not mean anything to you, but that could be a bench press and a seated row. And then you might do
Give
a
us another
vertical.
option.
Huh?
Give us another example.
I don't know any other. No,
What's a different push and a different pull?
a dumbbell bench, an incline bench, a machine bench, chest
Press-ups.
press, plate loaded, push-ups on a box, dips, all
All
these
right,
options.
all right. Yeah.
And again, that's just the compound list. That's the list of big exercises that are good at getting strong, so you're going to get strong at them.
And you pick what's right for you.
Exactly.
Oh.
Pick what you like and
Ooh.
and use it for what it's good for.
Ooh.
You know?
Yeah, I do.
I've adopted this position now. Is this me? Is this the guy I am?
I like that. You're leaning in. I'm
Yeah,
feeling it.
yeah.
I'm feeling it. So we've done push and pull. What's next? Up and down.
So then we'll do like a vertical version of that. So that could be an overhead press, a lateral raise, a pull up, a pull down, a assisted pull up. All these options that you've
Good.
got. And ideally, if you've got the grit to just stick to something and focus on getting good at it, you'd just pick a consistent 4 and maybe have. Definitely repeat them on the same day every week. So say you picked 4 on a Tuesday, that would be your Tuesday session. And if you even wanted to hone in on them even more, you could also make it your Saturday session. If not, you just pick 4 others from the same list and have 2 different programs running at the same time. So you've both have their benefits. One of them gives you a chance to double down and practice each movement twice a week. One of you gives you the benefit of variation and therefore perhaps a 10% advantage in strength and growth and whatnot, because the movements are 10% different from each other.
Pow, pow, pow.
Look at that.
What else?
That may take up half an hour of your training, and that doesn't seem like much upper body work, but again, think about reverse engineer from the goals. You're not trying to get a peaky bicep. You know, if you're a middle-aged woman, fat loss, you're doing well with that, that's not your goal. You're trying to get a little bit stronger.
Most likely it might be. Might be.
To be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, she might want to get in jacked.
Ooh.
You never know, some ladies do.
Well, you're going to start taking steroids.
Some ladies. One of my
Now or yesterday.
one of my supporting coaches, she's a lady that's trying to get jacked.
Oh, I think I may have... Did she come to the gym?
Yeah, she's called Anita.
I think I've met her.
Australian lady. I think you have.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's doing really well.
Nice.
She's heading up for a 60 kg bench press. She wants to bench 60 by 60. 'cause
That's
she's
vile.
60 kg bench because she's going to be 60 years old. Oh yeah.
That's
That's
big. Why is she stronger than me? That's not okay.
Sorry, go on then. So we've done.
So your goals aren't that ambitious.
We've done pushy and pulleys.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
not trying to get too jacked.
Yeah, so you don't need to particularly isolate things. For a number of reasons. Your goals aren't that ambitious. The movements that you're doing cover them anyway, and I'll not go into it, but they have their benefits. Even though it's not an isolation movement, they have the benefit of just applying even more tension to it because you're using more muscles at once. So that's handy. And then you've finished training your upper body in, say, half an hour. And then you can move on to doing a similar thing for lower body.
So you've only done 4 exercises, half an hour. That's not that intense.
No, it's not intense at all.
Cool.
And then if you focus on just getting stronger at them weekly, that's fine. That's enough stimulus.
Yeah. So you get used to it. It's pretty basic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you can move on to your lower body stuff or do it in the opposite order, whatever you prefer. And you may have, I'd recommend a strong glute movement, a strong quad movement, and a strong hamstring movement.
Give us some bum cheek blasters then.
So if that was me personally, based on my preferences, I'd do a barbell back squat because that's my favourite exercise.
Yeah.
I'd probably pick a hip thrust because it is the best glute exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd probably pick a, what's it called, Romanian or stiff leg deadlift, however you're calling it.
I like how you went, just like tasty.
Taste the gains.
Tasty deadlifts.
Yeah. And then, more or less, the only thing that for a beginning female that I'd say to put in there as Accessory lift is a lying hamstring curl or a seated hamstring curl.
And you would say that why?
Because so.
Give us an example of a hamstring curl as well. But I'm pulling it from the bottom.
The bicep curl of the lower body.
Yeah,
it literally is.
Yeah, because
one of them's called your biceps
it's called
femoris.
biceps femoris,
there you
which
go.
means like bicep in Latin.
But why? So if you look at the values of a back squat, so let's call it a quad movement, a stiff leg deadlift and a hip thrust, you end up training the majority of your leg, except you're missing out on a little bit of hamstring. So you've got 4 hamstring heads, and they all cross your knee, so they all act on knee flexion, you know this. But only 3 of them act on hip extension, so the stiff leg movement. So you're missing out on one, which is whatever.
Is it 3 on the stiff leg?
Yeah.
Is it? I thought it was 2, and I trust you, so I'm going to change. I must have been wrong.
I stand corrected, but I believe it's 3.
I believe you.
I've got an anatomy app. I'm not doing it now.
There's an app for that. Whatever it is.
It costs £20.
It must be legit.
It costs £20 and the nerd soaked it up. It's beautiful. Yeah. So I'd throw that in more for safety more than anything. I mean, it's going to add an awesome amount of hypertrophy and therefore probably like aesthetic excellence. But it's more just healthy to make sure that you train all your hamstrings heads. If you're training all your quad heads, it's nice to do that.
I completely agree. I used to introduce people to Mr. Hamstring Curl and say that it was going to be a love-hate relationship, but they better get to know him real well.
It's going to be every session we're doing.
It's going to be an every session thing, yeah, because a lot of ladies have got knee pain, and some of it comes from like patella, like knee displacement, doesn't it? From strength imbalance between quads and hamstrings. And then when ladies go to classes and stuff, even day-to-day life, you get out of chairs and you're walking upstairs and you're doing stuff and you're picking stuff up and it's all thighs, thighs, thighs. And then people go to like body pump classes and they do about 10,000 mini squats.
If you ever come to one of my classes at the gym, you'll be very pissed off that leg curl never changes. It's just always in the class.
Yeah, you make people... You've got some inventive ways of getting people to train hamstrings, but this is why you're a fantastic trainer, because hamstrings need blasting.
Oh God, more so than anything
But there's
else.
only really 2 good exercises. There's only really Romanians and there's hamstring curls.
Which you can't teach in a class.
And because if you've got 10 people, you can't watch everyone's spine. So good point. And you can't drag the hamstring curl down. No. So you get really inventive on different ways to train the backs of people's legs, because everybody else, they're doing 10,000 lunges and mini squats and box jumps and
quads.
Yeah, thighs, thighs, thighs. No,
I don't really like upper body in class
pain.
I always put seated row and face pull in classes, and they're non-negotiable either. There's always 2
posture.
stations. It's always seated row, it's always face pull, because I don't have any other options.
Yeah.
Every other upper body exercise in the class is going to be a push of some sort. It's going to be a push-up, it's going to be an overhead press, a lat raise.
Because they're just easier to do in classes, aren't they?
Yeah, what else
it's hard to train your back muscles.
So hard.
With like free
a renegade row, cool, but then you're limited by your core
but
capabilities.
Yeah, and it's harder on your chest and core than it is on your back. So
exactly. That's what I mean. You're limited by the ability to hold yourself in a one-handed plank. I can't do that. And then row.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not the best.
Okay.
Face pull would be if I could only give people one upper body exercise, it'd be face pull.
Really?
Yeah, so if I could only pick, if somebody said to me, I can only do one upper, this is not a real situation, but I can only do one upper and one lower, what would you do? I'd give them probably face pull and Romanian deadlift, or face pull and hip thrust.
Just the 2 healthiest movements.
Just postural, face pull's postural correction upper body, hip thrust or Romanian's postural correction lower body. So then at least you've got a strong, healthy spine. At least you're not, like as you're getting older, coming down, sort of thing. At least you can stay up and healthy and strong, healthy aging and all that business.
I've got a beautiful client called Elaine, and she's 60 something or other. Oh, I've just revealed that. Sorry, Elaine. 40 something I meant.
It's all right. We'll bleep that over it. We'll cut to an advert, and we're back. I'll edit that later.
Yeah.
I'll bleep it out.
You won't. He didn't. I know he didn't. He doesn't edit. Straight to Facebook. Immediate upload.
No edit.
Yeah, no.
There's only one take, bro. This is all we do.
One take and we fucked it up.
No, I never screw it up. I never.
And when she started with me, she had to lift her leg into cars. Couldn't do anything like that. Now she's stiff legging like a champ.
What happened?
It just so we did all the tests. Internal, external rotation of her hips was just shoddy on the right hand side. Impingement running through her hips. Glutes were weak as piss on the right hand side. We've just ironed all that out. Now she's so strong. Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah. To the point, I put a video consensually of her on my Instagram doing push-ups the other day. Someone commented on it. Is that you? No, it was me.
That is amazing.
Yeah. They saw a little ponytail and a small arm and thought, that's Will. Oh God, has life ever been any better?
That is amazing.
Yeah, and same thing. Stiff legs sorted her out. We've done lots of abduction, lots of hip work. So yeah, when you're designing your program, there's an element of balance and safety that you want to put into it. And you want to come in from all directions and make sure that it's a fail-safe approach to everything being progressed at once. Yeah, you want to make sure that, I'd say a nice way of doing it is doing the least amount of exercise as possible to cover your entire body in a week, and then just getting good at them. Like I said, just focus weekly on getting good at them. Be very, very religious about sticking to an exercise and just doing it. And then just focus on getting strong at it. And if you want help with that, like I said, message me, I'll send it you. There'll be some instructions behind your approach to doing it. And then if you need any advice on the actual execution of the exercise, talk to Connor, go online, or talk to me, and you'll figure it out.
Yeah, I don't necessarily give exercise advice. They should talk to you.
Talk to me.
Yeah,
Don't talk to him.
No,
Talk to me.
I do nutrition. No, I do nutrition. I don't.
Yeah.
I advise people on exercise.
He's skinny and does nutrition. I'm skinny and lift things.
With the 6 Steps to Slim program, and we've got lectures on movement and exercise, but not. And I do teach people the push, pull, legs,
approach, yeah.
hinge, and stuff like that, and the principles of it. But I don't teach people how to do the exercises, how to program it, how to make the programs. No, it's a fat loss program. That's why we have supporting coaches on the program. Yeah, and I like to link up with other people.
That's why I'm excited about this, because I refuse to sell programs because they, by and large, don't work. Unless you're selling it to someone that's already been in the gym for 2 or 3 years, they don't work. So that's why this kind of approach could potentially work, and that's what I want to figure out.
No, it'll work.
If I can get people working with this.
No, it'll work.
So yeah, if you're a female, you've got these goals. If you're a male, you've got these goals. If you have any goals about getting stronger, which I would recommend, regardless of the health, it's good fun. Fat loss is not fun. Getting strong is fun. It's empowering. Elaine is addicted now.
Empowering's a good word.
Oh God,
empowering's a good word.
Do you know how fun it is getting strong? I've been told by strong people. Oh dear. It's goddamn fun. Yeah. Just seeing yourself adapt and overcome. What's your warm up now is what's hard now is one day going to be your warm up, and that's so cool. The fact, there's only like 2 things in this world that you've got 100% malleability over: your mind and your body. And if you're just letting them waste and do nothing with them, you're not reaching your true athletic potential. Oh, come on!
That is really
come
good.
On!
No, that is really good.
Doing?
It's kind of like we feel like we're humans behind our eyes, don't we? We feel like we look around from behind our eyes, but we're in sort of a meat vehicle.
Yeah, which is a little shell.
Yeah, this is my meat vehicle, and I use it to traverse
hey bro,
the earth.
You could have picked a worse one. It's good that.
I've been working on it for a while. Thank you
mate.
so much. I feel quite privileged. This is a 1992 model.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah,
it's a good year.
And
1992
was a
lost
good
it
year
off the top early on.
For bodies, yeah. There's
made up for it in facial
improvements
hair.
Have clearly been made. What year model are you?
We don't need to talk about that. 99.
Okay.
99. Oh no. 99. What a baby.
Improvements have been made. You're slightly younger than me, aren't you?
Taller.
But true. The body's an interesting thing where it's not like a motorized vehicle where the more you use it, the more it breaks down. It's a magical biological vehicle where the more you use it, the more it improves. The more you drive this vehicle, the better it can drive. It starts off as like an old Peugeot 106 from around like 92. Your time of birth or mine, somewhere between there, yeah. But then you can upgrade it into a Ferrari. You actually can, just by driving it. It's even free.
A nice 2015.
Yeah,
that's a hilarious thing.
You can turn it into a Tesla. It's even free.
Yeah,
you can just drive it and drive it and drive it and work on it and work on it, and you can mold yourself. Yeah, you can grow.
There's nothing to be benefits to be made. There's nothing other than that. There's no real downside to it. You've got to put in work, but that only manifests itself as developing grit and determination. And people harp on about like, how do you get motivation to train and this, that and the other. Motivation's fickle and fleeting at best. Some shit you've just got to do, grit and bear. And that's training. It's just something that is going to benefit you. You're going to like it when you get good at it, and you'll never look back. Don't rely on motivation. It'll pass like a flash in the pan.
Yeah, your job's to get people results easier than they expect as well, and that's mine too. I focus quite a lot on efficiency so that people do, like you said, the minimum effort to get the maximum reward.
That's what I'm talking about.
Minimal work, maximum reward.
You're thinking about consistency and maintenance. You need to be able to do something that you can adhere to. if you're a 40-year-old female and you've never done any weightlifting before, you know you're pretty good at adhering to not doing weightlifting. So don't try and do all the weightlifting. Meet it in the middle. Do 2 sessions a week. Do 6, 7, 8 exercises at a time, full body. Pick them from my list, text me, and focus on getting strong at them. And you're done.
All right, I think that's a fantastic summary.
End of podcast.
I think that's a fantastic summary. Thank you so much. I really do honestly appreciate you coming down.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming down.
Let's make it regular.
Please. Yeah. Thank you for listening, everyone. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. See you next time.
No, really, man. Thank you. That was excellent.
Yeah.